Hey everyone, and welcome to the Pro Series. I'm your host, Eric Dillman. Today, for the first time, we have two guests on this Zoom call. They are both the stars of the new HGTV show premiering February 16th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time called My Flipping Family. They're brothers. One is named Willie Mac and one is JMacc Dewan. We are going to admit them, kind of talk to them about the show, how the show became about, and what else they do in their life.
Eric, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. I'm going to start my camera here in a second.
No problem.
I'm not necessarily in the office. I'm out in the field working today, so I look like I've been working.
No problem. Hey, that's even better.
It justifies my line of work.
Yeah, and it shows that you're not faking it.
Right.
I feel like a lot of people think in HGTV shows these people are faking it and they're just actors for. So
yeah,
showing it off.
Yeah. Hey, and I actually have Willie's joining us in a second. He just texted me, but I have one of his sweatshirts on that said it's not impossible because I'm possible.
So does he have his own clothing line?
He does do clothing. He has a lot of different things that he's involved in with the fashion world. So I'll let him tell you more about that. But yeah, he came up with some different slogans, and he has some clothes with his face on it and stuff like that he wears on his comedy set. So he's having fun with it.
Oh, it looks like he just entered. Let me admit him real quick. Yeah, we definitely talked to him about that. Hey, Willie, how are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. We were just talking about your clothing line. I didn't know you had one.
Yeah. I have I'm gonna show it to you real quick. It's right here.
Look at that backdrop.
You know he's in Hollywood, right?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So do you just sell it online or do you have a storefront?
I sell it when I go on the road. It's at my merch table, so I usually sell it as merch on the road.
Okay. Where do you travel to when you're on the road?
Oh, I'm a little bit of everywhere. I've done I do a lot up north, Chico, Redding, like Sacramento. I just did 4 shows in San Diego at the Madhouse Comedy Club, Phoenix,
Memphis, Chicago. Right.
Yeah, Memphis, Chicago. I just headlined the Orpheum Theater over in Flagstaff. So yeah, I'm a little bit everywhere.
Crazy. You need to come up to Pittsburgh.
Oh my goodness, I cannot wait. Like, people have been trying to get me to come to the East Coast. I was like, I'm gonna wait for it to warm up a little bit.
Yeah, don't come now. Don't come now. We're having a warm front right now and it's 40 degrees, so.
Oh my goodness.
You all are better than St. Louis.
When I was doing Chicago, I did Chicago like maybe let's say like 3 years ago when they had that polar vortex and it was negative 35 degrees, man. It was awful.
I'm not made for that.
Yeah, no, me or you.
So where are you guys both recording from?
I'm in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And I'm in St. Louis.
Okay. So is that where the show's shot in St. Louis?
Yeah, the show's shot in St. Louis.
So bring me to the beginning on before the show. How did you start out in the house flipping business and where did it all start?
Our dad got us into it. So our dad was a real estate investor when we were kids, and we were one of those kids that our parents put us to work right out of as soon as we could walk. My dad has a little joke that he says, if you can hold a bottle, you can hold a hammer. That was my dad's thing. So we worked with him for a really long time and pretty much most of his properties. And not only did my dad flip and like buy and sell homes, he also does the same thing with churches and schools. Like my dad bought a school and started to renovate on it, him and Jonathan. And
that's cool.
And they're working on at the church. And so we got into it really early. Jonathan stayed into it more. I moved out here to California and started kind of focusing on the entertainment side. And so that's kind of where we got the start, was definitely from my dad.
Okay. And then Jonathan, you're still at it.
Yeah, still at it, man. You know, I was actually out in California for a little while a few years ago, and then I moved back, but I actually worked with my father on a couple of flips right out of high school. And then me and Willie owned our first property when I was in college. It was one of my streams of income to help pay for college tuition. And so we kind of got into it a little bit more working together then. But when I moved to California, took a corporate job out there, and moved back to St. Louis, man, I guess it never left, right? And there's such a great opportunity here to invest in properties and to kind of beautify a lot of the communities that we've interacted with over our lifetime. So, you know, I couldn't get away from it. You know, left corporate America and got my realtor's license because not only did I want to learn the hands-on portion of renovating houses and what it takes to really beautify a home, I wanted to kind of tag along on that back end, right? The paperwork and the legal aspects of it and finding a home and interacting in that space. So yeah, I'm kind of all around in it.
And also part of the reason John got into the real estate, got his real estate license, because we was paying, you know, you pay the agents all this money and the fees and stuff. And John was like, we should, if anything, keep that on the Mac Boys side.
Exactly.
So that's
you know, I told him, I said, the homes pretty much sell themselves. Usually when we do our open houses, people come in and like, yep, we're buying it. And I'm like, man, what did the realtor do? You know?
So I like how you said beautify the communities that you're doing, because a lot of these, I mean, flipping is such a big thing. Everybody wants to do it, but a lot of people are just in it for the quick flip. So usually if you go in there, you see their work. It's not the best. And it scares you that know that someone's moving into that house or a family's moving into that house. But you taking care of and making the community better as a whole just by one flip at a time that's really cool to hear, because that's not the mindset of most flippers out there.
No, and it's unfortunate, especially working in the real estate market. I've sold homes to some clients that I've just, you know, or showed them, I should say, homes that I was just like, man, this just could have been done a little bit better. And that's where I know that the passion side of this comes in at. And I actually get in trouble with Willie and my father all the time because I will get so engrossed in the flip where they're like, are you buying this when we get done? Or like, are we trying to sell it? You know, I tend to over rehab sometimes because, you know, you think about the families that are going to really spend time there, make memories there. Like, this is a big deal for so many people, and it deserves that same level of passion and love when we're investing in our communities.
That's great. That's great to hear. So how long were you guys going at this before you got contacted by a producer or however you did for a show?
So we've been approached a few times, probably since 2015. The home flipping stuff has been happening even prior to that. What really happened, I don't think I've ever actually told this story before on like a podcast or an interview, was so I used to be a reality TV show editor. And while me and John was even accumulating properties. And so I heard them talk about HGTV is looking for people of color who flip homes, because there was some hashtags out there that was like HGTV so white. So I told the production company that I worked at, I was like, oh, me and my brother flip homes or whatever. And it's like, Willie, you're a comedian. You don't really flip homes, you and your brother. And I was like, no, we actually do. So I used to fly back to St. Louis every time we bought another property, and I would get on my brother's nerves, Jonathan's nerves, and I would always be filming. I'm like, yeah, here we go, John, we filming again. And he'd be like, get the camera, I'm trying to work. And I would just post it on Instagram, post it on Facebook, and I would post it on YouTube. So I edited a little package together, and I showed my production company that I was working at. And they was like, oh, this is really good. I was like, yeah, so? They was like, yeah, we're not gonna do it. So I just threw it up on YouTube, but you know, we still was doing our thing in the background. And then a production company found us in like 2016. And we was pitched then, and it didn't work out. We tried again in like 2018, but in 2020, the right pitch came together. HGTV loved what they did, loved us. We did some interviews, and then we shot the sizzle in like October 2020. And then in January, we got the thumbs up, like, hey, all right, let's shoot the pilot.
That's awesome. One thing a lot of people ask me to ask people when I have this podcast is, every single customer that you have that you're flipping the houses, I'm assuming you're doing it for, are you doing it for a customer or are you doing it for yourself?
Yeah, for an end buyer.
Okay. So are they always willing to be on TV, or do you have to find specific people to be on the TV?
You have to find specific people to be on TV, because everybody doesn't want to. Some people will be like, they might want the house, but they might not want to be filmed purchasing the house.
Exactly.
So yeah. So that's always been a thing when people. Some people either camera shy, they don't want people to know who they are or where their house is, and so it's always those type of things that you will have to run into.
And I think that it's really special how this was put together, because it was put together even with our family in mind. And again, this has been happening for years prior to even being approached by the network or by the production company. And so really what this captures, and this really captures how we come together as a family to work on our projects. And so although you will see customer interaction, it really was special to really show our family interaction and how we pull together to really make these projects come to life.
Yeah, that part was super cool. Like that we was able to get all 5 of our brothers on it. You'll see our dad throughout, you'll see our mom. And it's because they wanted to do something a little bit different, which is also cool, where they wanted to like get people to know who we are just a little bit more than you would see on like a regular HGTV home. So they play a lot with our backgrounds.
I like that. It's kind of like a family reality show, but HGTV flips.
Yeah.
What else makes this show different than anything else on HGTV or just on TV in general?
Go ahead, John.
I think it's just going to be really fresh, and I also believe that, Willie, as much as we try to contain his comedic side, it's not really possible. So, and
when you do try to contain, it's just like shaking up a soda bottle and it's going to explode eventually.
So I think it's fresh, it's funny. It's so awesome, again, just to see the whole family on there and to kind of show our connection to our community, right? And that's what a lot of the shows do as well, show the connection to the community. But we're so excited that St. Louis is being featured in this, right? We're just now seeing St. Louis come in on a few different platforms when it comes to the home space. And St. Louis is a really cool city. I mean, it has great architecture and the homes are beautiful. So for us just to show some of that, is really special to us too.
Absolutely. And then how many episodes is the first season?
So we haven't got to that part yet. So
Gotcha.
the way that this happens in this particular situation is they're going to air the episode, and based on the numbers and the reactions and interactions they get, because this is also a new format for them, because like I said, it's not just a regular home flipping show. It's a lot more. So we will see. We will see where this leads. But just the idea that one of the things that me and John talk about is the exciting part of us even being able to be this far. Some people have even asked us, even asked me, was like, what happens if it's only one episode? I'm like, it's a baby step. It's a small step. Like Absolutely. Most people would just dream of flipping home. Now we're flipping homes, and now we got it to TV. This is me and my brother's show. So that's huge. And a lot of people are really excited about it. And so then, and even to answer the prior question, when you was like, what makes us different? What makes us special? It's 2 brothers who are on 2 different sides of the world. I'm in LA, I'm super goofy, I'm on stage, I do stand up, and I work with my brother. And the thing, my mom made us sit down and talk to each other, that she was like, before you all start filming, remember that you all are family first. Don't get into these big disputes. Don't get into no fights or any of this other stuff. Make sure that you are family focused, because my mom has always been like that. Like when we were kids, even like with Christmas, like we would have, they would give us like $100 each. So if we wanted a video game system, or at that time, a Sega Saturn, we would have to put our money together, and then somebody would have to get the game. And so we always been like this, I guess, brotherhood of brothers. And so you will see a lot of that. You will see the interactions of us just playing around, me jumping on John's back and just having a absolute blast.
Getting on my nerves really in real life, but
we know the behind the scene. So what does your dad think? Did he do this for a living when you were growing up, or was this just a hobby?
No, so he worked in corporate America as well. He was a senior level executive, and he would invest the excess of his income into renovation. So he had apartment buildings, homes. Like Willie said, it even grew into investing in commercial properties. So we got to learn the hands-on aspect of it because he would make sure we were involved in that. But then we also were able to see him negotiate with people and just make a connection to the sellers and really understand their story and how he went about connecting to people in order to get some of the properties that he got. And so we gleaned from all of that. I mean, I could just go on and on and on. You really didn't know what was happening then, but now you're like, you remember when Dad had to go and drive over to and talk to this person, but then went back over here and that. And so now we started seeing some of those same things come up in our process when we're purchasing and buying as well.
That's awesome. What does he think about you guys taking it a step further and going on TV with it?
He's excited.
He's excited. My mom's excited. My mom, one of the things she was even saying to us was like, I get to go on the red carpet. Like, she's like excited about being on the red carpet. She's like, I'm gonna buy a new wig and a new dress on the Mac Boys dime. But even just talk what John was just saying, just like, so our dad is a big part of it. Our dad is the reason we got into it. And it's funny to see our dad's dynamic on TV because we've already seen the episode. And so one thing that we see is like, and it just makes me realize, like, my dad is a good talker. Like there's some things that me and John, I almost speak for myself, we're kind of skittish away. Like, he's like, go in there and talk to this person. I'm like, well, Dad, no, I'm gonna just let them come and say something else. He's like, no, this is how you do it. He'll go in there, be a little, here's what you do, da da da, and he come back like, all right, we got it. I was like, how'd you get it? He's like, you just gotta be this person. And even in this episode, one thing that is happening that I can say is we invested in this episode. The house is in the same neighborhood we grew up in. So when we were kids, it was right around that same block. And so when we were working on the home, I just went through like memory lane because I'm originally from Arkansas. My parents, we're all from Arkansas. John and the rest are from St. Louis, but I was born in Arkansas. So when we were working on this project, I remember like stuff when I was like 5, 6, 7 years old. I'm like, I remember this hill, and there was this like elk that came from the woods, and my dad was like, what is an elk? And it brought back so many childhood memories.
Absolutely. That's really cool. I didn't know that. So Jonathan, what you doing flipping full time?
Yes, I do flipping full time. Real estate. I should say real estate because I'm a real estate agent and we do investing and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like I said, never really thought. I have so many hobbies and so many passions. I'm a musician. I really enjoy cooking. I enjoy event production. So it's like a lot of aspects of my life, and people literally say like, man, you are literally the jack of all trades. But real estate has been something that I get to express my creativity and that kind of musical artistry side. And then also getting a degree in like business and all of that, I get to kind of work that side of it too, because I like to, organize things and to see how things come together on a business aspect. So As much as I do, it kind of all pulls together in a really weird way into doing my real estate, you know, especially when it comes to investing, because you really do get to express your creativity.
Absolutely. I hope you guys get past, you get a whole season out of this because it'd be so cool to see all of you guys do, all like the side hobbies too. Just add it
Yeah.
to the show. That'd be so cool to see.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm excited about like all of that, just to see my brothers and just the family and what this has for even me as a comedian. That's one thing that I was talking to my agent about. Is just like how many more doors this will open up just as a stand-up comedian, because the way that part of the way that we got started up with like our funding was the money that I made in stand-up and the money that I made in, because I did a bunch of commercials. I've been in a whole bunch of them. So entertainment wise, it's also exciting. And just to have that conversation, like I talk now, my conversations are different with fellow comedians. Like some of the bigger name comedians now know who I am. And they're like, Willie, we got this money. What do we do with it? And it's like, oh, bring that to St. Louis. Let's show you how to reinvest and all this other stuff. Yeah.
And you know, it's actually really special because we have had a connection with our community for such a long time. Willie has been establishing his connection in Hollywood for a long time. And this opportunity has given light to a lot of connections that we already have, to where it's just kind of taking some stuff to the next level. We're even in the process of writing a children's book that's going to be released real soon.
Yeah,
cool.
So exciting! We can't wait to share. We're making sure we're going to have to tell you, Eric, when the children's book comes out. Yeah, because it's a lot of lessons that we've captured. Again, just our upbringing. Our mom and dad made it just a point to really instill values and work ethic in us at a young age. And so now we kind of get to perpetuate that and pass it along to another generation in different ways. And this book is one of them. And like, we're excited about that. I could go on just some of the other projects that we're doing. And like you said, it's not necessarily just renovating houses, but it's just a lot of stuff that we're kind of have engaged in, and I've had it on my vision board. You know, I have a vision board that I have, and I just put it on there years ago, you know, and just to see a lot of the stuff coming to pass is super cool.
Yeah. Was a show part of your vision board? Being on a show and having your own?
It was originally Willie's. So this was again
on my vision board.
Yeah, it was on his vision board years ago. And like you said, I never got into this to be on TV and stuff like that. We were just investing in St. Louis and all of that. And so it was kind of cool and weird to see it come to pass. I'm like, man, how did this happen? And a lot of people ask us that question, like, well, tell us exactly how it happened. And it's just how things aligned, you know, and the opportunity presented itself.
Mm-hmm.
Willie, was your vision to be a house flipping show, or was it more of like a comedy special or something like that?
Well, working on a comedy special now.
Okay.
But my vision was to be on TV. And then even as I was going back home to film what me and John are doing, one of the things that really excited me about this and made me really want to push it forward was because the conversation started to change with some of our like friends and family. Like John mentors a lot of young men. And I remember we was working at one property and John will have them come in and we'll pay them to help us paint or to just whatever to see. And I'm gonna say this, Eric, it gives young urban men and just children something else to see. They're like, you don't have to be a musician, you don't have to be an athlete, you don't have to do, here's something else. 'Cause there was one kid, I forget what his name was, John, but he was like, I'm gonna have more homes than you all one day. I'm gonna start investing too. And we were like, yes, this is what we want people to see. We want to excite this next generation to show them that this is possible, because it's one of the things that even on some of these home flipping shows, they make it seem like you got to have $500,000 to buy the house and another $200,000 to put in, and it makes it almost unobtainable to some people. Like, I don't have $500,000 to work on a property, and it's like, we don't have $500,000 to work on the property, but what we do have is this guideline, this process, and for you all to see this and see us doing this, and people who are getting inspired, and the people that's hitting us up now on the DMs are just like, how can I get my first property? And these are the things that we really also wanted to show on TV.
That's awesome, because I mean, I know a lot of communities, or some communities out there, have different programs to teach people what else is out there to do. And that's awesome that you guys are doing that, because I mean, real estate in general, people just think of realtors and you just show a house or an appointment, but you guys are taking it to another level that these kids probably have no idea about. So that's pretty awesome that you guys are showing that.
Yeah, you know, again, it's really just kind of, again, perpetuating what we've seen from our father and what he did for us, you know, just being good parents. Him and my mom, you know, just doing what parents are supposed to do, right? You know, and exposing us to the vast possibilities that we can achieve in life. And so I think it's just really in us to kind of do that as we move forward. Like Willie said, I mentor young men, and I talk to them all the time just to help expand their perspective and how they look at different things that they're facing, and just using the process of what a home looks like, you know, from beginning to end, and how you have to have vision and perseverance, and, you know, just a lot of different things. A lot of good conversations come up, and they're able to just kind of relate it to the home buying and flipping process, you know, which is actually pretty cool.
I love that. So February 16th is the premiere. 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time?
Yep, 11 a.m. Eastern.
So what can an audience member or whoever's watching this, what can they do for their part to get you guys going for a whole season?
Besides, watch it. If you can't watch because you got to go to work, DVR it. If you can't DVR it, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, post it. And it's really about just getting the eyes on it, just the not just the eyes, but just vocalizing, this is what's happening, this is what's going on. Support them, support this, support the family, and support Eric's podcast and all of that.
We say only good memes. If they're gonna do memes, only good ones, right?
I'll take the bad ones. You can meme me, because I know there's definitely gonna be some meme spots in our episode.
Yeah, I can't wait, because I just feel like it's more than just a house flipping show, and after this podcast, it makes me even more excited to see it.
Yes.
Thank you, Eric. I really appreciate it. And thank you for allowing us to speak on it.
Yeah, I can't wait to get it out. What, anything else you'd like to promote for maybe your Instagram handles or any following?
So the Instagram handle for our show and everything is My Flipping Family HGTV. I'll send it to you just in case. My personal one is Willie Mac, WILLIEMACC. And John?
I won't shout mine out because Willie talks about my page all the time, but I'm Jonathan McMiller on Facebook. That should tell you something, because my Instagram handle, I go straight to Facebook. But
okay. That's
he said, okay.
Okay. I'm the opposite way. I would rather not be on Facebook.
I understand. But no, you can follow our business page at My Flipping Family HGTV on Instagram.
Yeah. Perfect. I'll definitely tag that in the caption of this video. Awesome.
Yeah,
thank you.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Thank you both for taking time out of both your busy schedules. I can't wait for the show.
Yes,
thank you, Eric.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate your time.
Awesome. Thank you.
And when I'm in Pittsburgh, I'll let you know, and I would love for you to come to the comedy shows, because I'm like I said, I'm gonna start touring more this summer and fall, and I would love for you, whoever's listening, come see me perform. Eric, you got tickets on me. We'll go out and everything after.
Oh, that would be awesome.